The Connection Show. Inspiring. Hope. Health. Healing. Sponsored by Brave Heart Workshops. Live with Jill Reynolds. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like our page. Share it. Subscribe to it now and click the bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming shows.
The Connection Show, inspiring hope, health, and healing, sponsored by Braveheart Workshops Live with Jill Reynolds. And joining me today is Coach Chuck Prinzen. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Mahalo for having me. And for those that don't know, mahalo on the island, that's thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want everyone to know just a tad bit about you. So I'm going to read just a short part of your bio. So the coach grew up in Long Beach, California, where he received his diploma from Long Beach Polytechnic High School in 1974. Chuck is the founder of, and I'll probably say it wrong, it's all these letters together, MEINCNOW Consulting, which means me expressing I need change now. The program focuses on bringing awareness to and working closely with young adults in hopes of changing negative cycles passed down from generations before them. So I'm all about that, connecting those dots, Chuck. So what I'd love the audience to know, if you wouldn't mind, is on the Connection Show, we believe that it's so good to connect the dots from our childhood, the good, the bad, and the ugly, to how those dots led us to who we are today. So if you wouldn't mind just giving us a snapshot of little Chuck growing up and how that led you to who you became today.
Well, little Chuck grew up in a very ugly environment. Domestic violence, child abuse at its highest level, suicide, all the negative things that you can think of, abandonment, and which caused me to, at one time I actually got beat by my stepdad and put into a safe house, and he was incarcerated for 6 months, and they ended up giving me back to my mom and my stepdad for another 13 years of the most brutal, vicious, ugly, violent on both my mother and I that you can imagine. Because of that, there was a lot of fighting and we got kicked out of a lot of places. By my sophomore year in high school, I had attended my 27th school, 18 elementaries, 9 juniors, and 1 high school, until I actually ran away at 16 years old. And I was mentored by an older girl, high school. She was a senior in high school. I was a sophomore, and she mentored me, and she ultimately told her mom about me, and my mom adopted me, a Japanese widow, 2 daughters, and she brought me in and put me through high school. And I was in sports. Sports kept me active. Sports was something that I was able to release a lot of that negative stuff, because I was so deep in the mind of the defensive mechanisms around me. I was so deep in that dark mind that it was cold, and I liked it because I didn't want nothing to come. It was my protection. And so even in high school, I was my senior year, I was a counselor or a teacher's aide across the street at a kindergarten class, 3 periods a day. And they gave me the ones that they thought wasn't going to make it out of the first grade. Well, they ended up making it out of the first grade. And leaving that, going in and got a scholarship from Poly, not a big scholarship from the LA Times, but enough to go to junior college. And I took up early childhood education. Now, you know what? I really wanted to open up Prinzen's preschool. Prinzen's preschool would bring everybody in, deaf, blind, handicapped. They would all have their special classes, but during the course of the day, they would come together and play. because where do we get most of our history from, or our knowledge of how we grow within the environment that we live in? We are sponges as a child of the environment that we live in. I know that for a fact. So I've always wanted to help the youth, young adults, even more so at risk, uh, be a better person, have a better life, have a better environment, at least understand at a younger age than I did. And Prince's preschool never happened. Me Inc. Now Consulting, me expressing I need change now came through me about 8 years ago. And I've been on this journey for a while, helping those become aware of cycles that have been passed down on them, traits, cycles, negativity, that in most cases they don't even know that they have it, because that's the environment that they were raised in, and that's how they're in most cases their life is going to follow those that pass down. Now, have you ever heard you sound or act just like your mother? It's true. Who taught you how to tie your shoe? Who taught you how to walk? Who taught you how to talk? Well, in the same sense, all these negative, okay, these defensive mechanisms, or all these that negativity of ugly will follow. It might not be as many as I had, but it will follow. So what we have today is Coach Chuck coaching the game of life based on where I came from, but using it in a coaching thought, going to the kids in a coaching attire, because who are they going to listen to more? Mr. Charles Prinzen, CEO and founder of MEINCNOW Consulting, or a coach? For me, I had 5 coaches. They were very good to me. They taught me things. And that's why I have taken on Coach Chuck, coaching the game of life, helping you get rid of those get off the defensive field and bring on the offense. And now that I got you, people say, why do you say ink in the middle? Do you know what ink stands for? Sure, I do. But it came through me one day in a garage. Me ink now. Okay. And it's now that I have you, because I'm going to get you. I promise. I'm going to lower the defensive mechanisms. I'm going to get into your heart, and you're going to start believing in me. Now that I have you, I'm going to help you incorporate me, because you can't do anything unless you take care of me first. Sounds kind of sort of like stuck up, or no, you have to understand that you have to be able to take care of yourself. It's your journey. Okay. And it's the value that people look upon you, your credibility, the respect they have for you based on how you handle yourself. So me, and that's kind of sort of where we're at now.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, for sharing that, because it's very and you'll hear me speak about a little bit of codependency at the event we're going to both be at. But it's just like that story that they say on an airplane. You have to put the oxygen mask on yourself first if you're going to help and save your family or anyone else, because you have to be able to breathe first before you can take care of someone else. And I always loved the analogy. I never had thought about this, but it was profound when I realized that when a baby comes out of the womb and a mother delivers a baby, the doctor has to immediately cut the umbilical cord. And I just find that so profound, because I was wondering, well, why? And they says, well, because if the umbilical cord isn't cut, when the baby's outside of the womb, it will die, because it needs to take its first breath of air on its own. And so when the umbilical cord it stays on the baby, it will actually die outside of the womb. So I find that fascinating, that baby has to have that umbilical cord cut away from the mother in order for it to survive. And so I just find that fascinating. I don't know if you do, but I just find it fascinating how God created us.
Well, I have a little deeper. I like exactly what you're saying, but I tend to tell people that upon conception, when the polywog hits the egg, you're given life by the Creator, whoever you choose to call the Creator. I choose to call him God. Well, he gives you life. He also gives you a journey. I know that anybody watching this will have heard that before. Your path or your journey is in front of you. So he gives you life, he gives you a journey, and he gives us all an hourglass of only which he knows how much sand in that hourglass for you to complete the journey he gave you when he gave you life. So basically, yes, you have to now be on your journey. You're not on your mom's journey. You're not on your dad's journey. Okay, you're not connected to anything. Eventually, you have to start taking care of me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. So share a little bit with the audience. Um, there's an event coming up in Overland Park, Kansas, that Brenda Ringwood is putting together called Becoming the Best You Can Be, which will be February the 11th through the 13th. And I want to show the audience the flyer for that. And it's going to be at the Sheridan Convention Center. And there are still limited tickets available for the live in-person event, and those tickets will be available for only 8 more days till February 8th. And to get tickets, you can go to comechangeyourlife.com to get those tickets now. And the beauty about being able to get those tickets and come live is you'll be able to meet Coach Chuck in person, along with around 20 other amazing speakers that will be there, and they will help you to transform your life and overcome challenges in 2022. So as they say, be there or be square. So come in person if at all you can make it to Overland Park, Kansas. However, Coach Chuck, there is some virtual tickets available for only $49, and those tickets are available through February the 10th. So 10 more days, you can jump on the bandwagon and get a virtual ticket for only $49, and that will give you access to be able to watch all of these amazing talks on Zoom, our stream, whatever, however we're streaming them. And you'll be able to watch the replays in your convenience too. So if you're not free the whole entire weekend, don't worry about it. Get a ticket and you can replay it at any time that you want. Now, I had a great idea, Chuck. I thought, what would it be like if people out there today and tomorrow, if your pocketbook warrants you, that you went online and bought 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever virtual tickets for those of you that have people in your lives who you feel really need to become the best you they can be. They want to be the best you themselves. And me, like you said, be the best me that they can be and overcome challenges. What would it be like if you went online for them and you sponsored someone with a virtual ticket as a Valentine's gift, a gift of love? We're coming on to Valentine's Day. February is kind of the gift of loving yourself, loving others. And, you know, this hit me just this morning, Coach, and I'm going to buy 2 tickets for some friends of mine who I think that really need it. So I'm going to get online myself, and I'm going to purchase 2 tickets today with 2 people I know that need this but have some financial hardships right now. So, you know, I think if God's blessed us with enough resources to pay our bills and we have an extra $50, why not help another person? Because this is going to be a really inspirational event. So that's kind of one thought. Any thoughts on that, Chuck? And then tell the audience, too, what made you decide to be on this platform when you found out about it.
Well, I kind of sort of beat you to that thought a little earlier because I have put that out to family members from in Hawaii, Nevada, Arizona, and I actually have done that with them, and they will be on, like, family members that know, you know, my purpose, know my passion, know my journey, and they absolutely are going to be joining us. So I think that's a great idea. I mean, come on, it's not that expensive, especially like you said, for a Valentine's Day gift, right? Or for somebody that you know might be teetering, and you know when they're teetering that they maybe not have become aware of how to deal with these particular situations, whatever they might be, whatever they need to change in their life to become the best you or the best me. And but they need that little push. So what better way to say, hey man, I got you a virtual ticket. So what you got to say now? And I kind of sort of use that one, right? So let's get into the second question. The second question is, I've been doing this for quite a while. I just lost my loved one Christmas Eve, my fiance that was the mother of our daughter at 15 years old. I was 17. Life took us in different directions. Marriage, 2 marriages, I mean, her and me. And 33 years later, we were reunited for another 16 years. And we weren't that young couple, those kids. We actually now had a life. We have 17 grandkids. We have 5 great grandkids. And that journey that I have has purpose. And I know that. So all of a sudden I get introduced to Brenda from Terrence Letridge, which is Mr. Unstoppable. And he also is going to be at this event, an amazing man. And he says, you know what? I think I'd like to connect you to. Those are blessings. Those are blessings that we're given because we have touched somebody else's heart, or we have helped them become aware that this is not something we can do alone. This is something we have to do like together, like snowball effect. Let's drop that snowball on the mountain and let it go down and just grab everybody that can as it's rolling down the mountain until it comes to the bottom. And it's like, here's the ride. This is it. Well, that kind of sort of happened when Brenda was introduced to me, and I felt it immediately. The reason why, not just Brenda, but the majority of the people that I have met, the speakers that I have met up till now, they all have their own journey. They all have their own purpose. They all have their reason to help us become aware that change is possible, and all it takes is a choice. See? And sometimes those choices are hard. So when this all, and I think I was telling you this just a minute ago when we were off screen, is that I felt that this was a calling. You can feel, I'm not an islander, but I am of island family. And we share the aloha, and we know what the mana, the strength of the love of the island is all about. And I just felt this. I felt this like immediately, which is telling me, again, spiritually, this is where I'm supposed to be. My purpose, my message ties into, it's just a different message than some of the other speakers, which means, guess what? We get to touch a whole lot of people that need to become aware that change is possible if they just show up, whether it's live or virtual, and we can help you become, them thinking about it, becoming aware. We can't change them, but we can help them become aware that change is possible by telling our story, by giving our message. Or on the island, we say we like talk story, giving our message that we made it, that change, again, change is possible. You just want to be the best you can be in this life. Mm-hmm. Positivity.
Absolutely. And I'd love the audience to see your bio right now. So this is how you can reach out to Coach Chuck he's got you know what? I think I have the wrong website on here. What's your website, Coach Chuck?
My website for Me Inc. now is www.meincnow.com.
All right. So Okay, so I have the wrong website on here by accident, so I will fix this so when I put it on the YouTube channel, we will have the correct one. I just noticed it, so sorry about that. I don't know how that happened. I usually have...
I'm sorry, and Jill, in there is my mission statement, and there's a story coming up in the golden age that I got to do several years back with Foster Focus magazine, because I'm a foster child, and it describes my journey, but there are also 5 or 6 blogs. So when you go into the website, go to the blogs that talk about dysfunctionality, that talk about child abuse, that talk about abandonment, that talk about, uglies in a blog. And I thought they were done, obviously I thought they were done pretty well, but they touch. And that's what we at the become the best you can be by overcoming your challenges. These are messages. However we can give them to you, however we can send them to you, we want you to get it, get the information, and feel that change is possible. You might be sitting there going, I don't know, I've changed before and it didn't work and I just go back to the way it was. No, you have to find your purpose, find your passion, and go after it. Go get it because it feels good. It does. Positive stuff brings positive stuff. Negative brings negative, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And so start changing your life into positivity. Get on the offensive side of the field and get rid of that defense. Get rid of those defensive mechanisms. Get rid of those walls.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Coach Chuck. So everyone, sign up today for becoming the best you can be. Thanks again, Coach, for joining us. Take care.
Aloha.